Yeah, so CAT, while being a slightly facetious part of my presentation, is aimed to help companies understand 4 fundamental principles, values or behaviors that are embodied by the social web, that are becoming increasingly difficult for them to navigate because they are, in many instances, fundamentally and diametrically opposed to the principles that run successful industrial age business. Conversation, authenticity, trust and sharing. And again, these are, I think, not rocket science. These are fundamental human truths that we've become very used to in our personal capacity, in a one-to-one capacity, that companies are quite surprised that they have to adapt to because they're used to prescribing at their customers or at their employees, right? But I guess social media is a space that was always designed for one-on-one communication. So as companies engage in the space and are forced to embody humanity, so they begin to unpack what conversation means for them. So how do they scale for conversation? How do they unpack the resource and discipline and scalability, specifically around conversation. The second one would be authenticity. So it's one thing conversing, it's another thing being accountable for what you say when you do converse. Lastly, second last would be trust. We find that most company-customer relationships begin from a position of mistrust or distrust. You're issued with a massive contract with reams and reams of small print, and basically you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And we see brands like Starbucks and Zappos and Yuppie Chef and Amazon that have a fundamental sense of trust for their customer, believing by choice that what they're saying is authentic and true and real, and in doing so, I think building those brands phenomenally through that engagement because they trust by default until proven otherwise. And then lastly would be sharing. I guess a fundamental construct of the social web. We see how brands like Google, making all the world's information available to all of the world for free, have fundamentally changed the way that I guess brands like Microsoft, who are all about containing or aggregating that IP and packaging it and licensing it, have changed the dynamics between business and customers. So I think it's fundamentally important for brands, and it's fundamentally important for Cerebra, my company, that we share everything that we can, because knowledge is not power anymore. Knowledge is freely available. Knowledge is power if you share it. The book's called Brand Schizo, and the book is about how the gap between what companies promise and what they deliver as businesses is more of a risk than making no promise whatsoever. So yeah, that results in inherent brand schizophrenia, and it should be available on Amazon very soon.